The recent incident with the AFL's North Melbourne star, majak attempting suicide has brought the issue of mental health awareness in the AFL to the eyes of mental health organisations. Mental health is a state of well-being in which you feel able to cope with the stresses of everyday life, to maintain healthy relationships, to realise your potential in your career and personal life, have a sense of purpose and hope for the future, and can contribute to your community. Statistics indicate that 24% of young Australian people suffer from anxiety, substance abuse, and other mental illnesses. Only 15% of young males suffering from these mental health illnesses currently receive treatment, while 45% of young adults will experience a mental health illness in some stage of their lives. These statistics show that mental health is a significant issue facing the AFL industry. In the AFL, there are several causes that may lead players having or developing mental health problems during or after their careers. The pressure that players have on them to win and perform well every week contributes to their bad mental state. Having such a heavy load on their shoulders impacts their mental state, and when they do underperform, this can negatively affect a player's mental health. The players have an idea that their self-worth is dependent on their performance and the team's performance. If they underperform below their own expectation and the expectation of fans, coaches, other players, family, and friends, their esteem and feeling of self-worth can decrease and lead to potential mental health issues. Family, friends, fans, and coaches have a vital impact on the athlete's well-being. Pressure, disapproval, and hate from these people have a vital impact on them. It can increase negative stress and reduce motivation and inspiration from the player. Alexandra Kay from the University of Edinburgh found that more than one-third of young athletes reported emotional harm due to their coaches shouting and saying negative comments about their performance. Injury and the risk of injury also contributes to bad mental health to players because if they become injured, they'll have lower or no income, which makes it difficult to live happily. Because they are unable to play next season, their position will need to be replaced, potentially losing their position. Knowing this makes them stressed and anxious about being injured or the possibility of getting injured. Being injured also means they cannot exercise or take part in as much sports or physical activity. This sudden drop in physical activity makes the player more likely to become depressed, as physical activity is a mood enhancer. AFL players should limit their use on social media or not use it at all. Because social media is not face-to-face, it is very easy to say negative things and post negative things. Fans can become an athlete's biggest critic on social media. Athletes will receive negative reactions and hurtful comments if they perform bad or do something the fans do not believe in or want. Players that use social media see other players in competition, see what they have succeeded at and what they can't or haven't put in. This contributes to more stress and pressure for them to perform. When they do underperform, they are more likely to get depressed. Fans on social media platforms have control over an athlete because if they are receiving negative and hurtful comments, their belief in their own ability is lowered, creating more of a potential for failure, which ultimately leads to a worsened mental state. With the AFL issue of mental health, it is rising and not receiving the support it needs. Players are under immense pressure to perform, which has negative effects on the player's stress, and if they do underperform, the overall happiness of the being. Injuries and the risk of injuries negatively impacts the players, as injuries can lead to depression and unhappiness. The risk of injury also contributes to stress levels rising. The social media in the AFL community has a high impact on players as it contributes to the stress levels. People and players can criticise other players and say negative comments. Players become more stressed and depressed from such negative and hurtful things. With the correct support from the AFL industry, the players' mental health would increase to ensure players are safe and can reach their potential.